My name is Nick Bublitz, and I'm the producer in residence here at Orlando Shakes. And welcome to our fourth installment of Meet the Playwright, a weekly spotlight series on each playwright showcased in PlayFest 2020. This year is a whole new experience as PlayFest made the switch to a virtual platform over the span of 6 weeks, with a live recording occurring every week from October 3rd to November 7th. This week, I'm joined by Inda Craig-Galván, who is the fourth playwright showcased in our virtual New Play Festival with her play, Welcome to Madsen. But before we get into that, a big thank you to our presenting sponsors. For the second year, the Basil Keeney family joined City Beverages in presenting PlayFest 2020. What's so special about PlayFest is that these new plays are still in development. So during our rehearsal process, playwrights are able to hear their words aloud and actually continue adding to their work, making cuts, adding scenes, and continuing to grow and explore. And you, as the audience members, get to be a part of the process. After each reading, there is a live Q&A with the playwright and director where audience can ask questions and provide feedback about the play directly to the playwright as they continue on their creative journey. And throughout all of this right now, we would love to feature your questions. So be sure to leave questions for Inda in the comments. This week's PlayFest play is Welcome to Madsen, a dark intraracial comedy centered around Welcome to the Neighborhood Dinner Party. Two very different couples meet for the first time, and classism, internalized racism, and issues of choice and access threaten to destroy not only the dinner, but their relationships as well. And today we welcome Inda. Hi, Inda. How are you?
Nick, I'm good. I'm good. I'm okay. How are you?
Okay, good. I'm great. Where are you calling in from right now?
I'm in the Los Angeles area.
Oh, yeah. Perfect. Well,
California.
Sunny California. Well, I'm in right now, muggy Illinois. Welcome to PlayFest. This is the first time you're joining us here at Orlando Shakes. How are you doing?
It's going well. Yeah, it's been a great experience so far. Yeah.
Well, so before we get started in talking about Madsen, I would really love for you to tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been writing plays?
Probably, I think since 2014. So that's 6 years now, going on 7 years. I was doing sketch comedy before that, writing and performing. In Chicago. I'm from Chicago originally.
Perfect.
And was acting, and then eventually decided I'm going to try something a little more of a long form.
Right. So starting in sketch comedy, where did you start with sketch comedy?
I trained at Second City in the performing track, and then also in the writing track, and then met someone through their diversity outreach program named Kevin Douglas, and he said one day, we should do a 2-person show together. And I said no for about a year. And then
that's how it always starts.
And then we came up with a really cool name, and I was like, okay, fine. It kept Inda. And we toured all of the sketch festivals and improv festivals and had a really good time. And then when my family moved to Los Angeles, I didn't have my writing partner anymore. And it was like, how do I write by myself? Maybe I could try plays. So yeah, that's how it happened. Blame Kevin.
Blame Kevin. We will blame Kevin. Well, we will thank Kevin because this play, Welcome to Madsen, is very incredible. I'm very excited to see it on Saturday, having read it. Let's talk about the overall creation process for Welcome to Madsen. What was that like for you? Why now, and why this play?
Yeah, I growing up in Chicago, owned a home in the south suburbs of Chicago and was living there when, based on actual event of the city of Chicago deciding to tear down the Cabrini Green housing projects and relocate some of those residents out to the south suburbs. So it was always on my mind because that was a thing that happened where I lived. And in my last year of grad school in 2017, I decided to write about it. So it was a great experience because I was in a sort of a workshop environment, which is where I thrive in writing plays, bringing in pages and getting feedback and working through it and finding new things every week, and then getting to explore more of it in festivals and developmental opportunities. I've been blessed to receive for this work. And now it's really resonating with me in a different way, the theme of being stuck somewhere, not to give out any spoilers, but the idea that you are at the mercy of the government, that decisions are made for you, for your life, that you have no control over, decisions that may not be the best decisions, and what that means, and also to be stuck in your own space. It's
very relatable.
Yeah, it's different things I'm finding sticking out now.
Especially now in a virtual space, as it's rehearsing and performing online, it takes on new meaning. You've talked a little bit about the world of the play, but let's dive a little further into it. I have questions, and if anyone watching on Facebook right now has any questions, please write them in the chat below so we can ask Inda. But Inda, can you talk a little bit about the who? You've kind of talked about the what and the where, but can you give us a little bit of information just about the world of the play without any spoilers? You kind of mentioned it's in Chicago, in the world of the suburbs of Chicago, which I'm very familiar with. But I'm interested in hearing a little bit more.
Yeah. So the play is really about Patricia Mink, the protagonist of Patricia Griffin. She and her husband Gerald decide to host a welcome to the neighborhood dinner party, which they always do when people move in or have events or life changes. And the thing that's different this time is that the couple coming over for dinner are Regina and Corey Baker, who have been recently relocated to Matson from the Cabrini Green Housing Project. And at the time that it happened in real life, people were not happy that they were getting these new neighbors. People moved to the suburbs because they want to get away from the city, and now the city is coming and going to be right next door to you or right down the street from you. And there was some pushback. And it was also kind of strange because the city of Chicago is not part of Matson. Matson's its own village with all of the suburbs are their own towns with their own government, their own police departments, their own school districts. So for the city to have made this decision for other folks 50 miles away was a little strange. But the city did what was best for the city and for their pockets. So over the course of the play, it's a sort of a real-time dinner party that is full of conflict and full of some joy and some fun, but people's expectations of who their new neighbors are and who they are to each other in their own married relationships, and what it means to call a place home.
That's interesting. I like that. I like that a lot. So for everyone watching live, Inda and the rest of the cast and crew are currently in rehearsal right now as we're speaking. Inda, how have rehearsals been going so far? Any interesting discoveries as you hear the actors kind of bring the script to life?
Yeah, I think initially I felt pretty solid on the structure of it. So I wanted to pay attention to the language and cut a line yesterday. That it never dawned on me. I was like, oh, I don't need that. But also now that I'm thinking more about where we are in our world today in 2020, I'm also now really hearing things differently about the being stuck and this being a thing that it's only mentioned like maybe twice that the city decided to do this, but more so the theme of being stuck, even before their situation changes later in the play. But establishing that, I'm realizing, hearing it this week, that there may need to be some more of that early on in the play.
So this is a new play festival. So that means your script is still in development. And you've mentioned that kind of feeling of stuck and be feeling trapped almost coming up recently. What do you hope to get out of the rest of the week while you're in rehearsals making adjustments to your work?
Yeah, just make sure that I'm not adding things that are too current issue that it's gonna change or lose the meaning of what happened then, but also allowing that to seep in a way that makes it feel like we do understand that why now question,
Right.
overloading it that way, and just hearing how things sound in the mouths of actors, that because typically the readings I've done, I've casted myself with people who I know how they're going to sound,
Yeah.
It's my friends who are actors, so I know how they're going to do it. So hearing it with other actors who don't know me, who don't know my rhythms, who don't know what my comedy feels like, making sure that I'm giving them words that they can play with.
Right. Right. Perfect. Well, we have a question from our live audience from Nina. Were there any dinner party plays that influenced or helped you develop Welcome to Madsen? Thank you, Nina.
Thanks, Nina. Actually, people, I had a couple people say that the play really reminded them of Look Who's, no, not Look Who's Coming. I'm so sorry. Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? And I had not read that play when I wrote this. And then the second or third person that mentioned it, I was like, oh, okay, let me read this play. I hadn't read it. I had been busy with other things. I got kids. I had excuses. And then when I read
those are good excuses.
I read it and was like, oh my gosh, because they're just in a house the whole time in the play, and they're the older couple and a younger couple, and there's a lot of drinking, and there's this weird game they play in the middle, and there's definite similarities, but they were not intentional.
Right, because you hadn't read it, so.
Right, I read it. And I've not seen the movie either. I have since seen the film and watched and read the play. And Elizabeth Taylor is a revelation.
Yes.
She's amazing. But no, I wasn't really, I guess maybe a little Look Who's Coming to Dinner, just that sort of shock of having someone in your house that you don't know how to feel. You don't know how to feel about them.
Right.
I think that was kind of in mind, but it wasn't, that's a film, but it wasn't something I was aiming for. Yeah.
So another question from Nina. What plans do you have for the script after PlayFest? Ooh, good. Another good question. Thank you, Nina.
I plan for it to go straight to Broadway. No,
Right?
Plans don't work in the time of COVID.
Yeah. There's a very real problem on how to make those plans, but also does this play have any life happening after PlayFest? Going on to another reading, anything like that?
No, I just had one last summer at Ojai, which was fantastic. There was talks of a production, and then COVID. So no, it's just gonna sit there on, in its little hard drive or in the Dropbox and wait.
We're holding out hope, though.
Yes.
I love that. Yeah, right.
I love it.
From Orlando Shakes themselves, how long have you been working on this script? What's the biggest change you've made over the course of the development?
I started in 2017 in school. 2 changes. The first big one was there was a lot of stuff happening in the play. There was a fourth wall character that you don't see, a reporter who they give these asides to. There was a knife that Patricia comes out with in her big moment. There's just a lot of things happening. Luis Alfaro, who was my instructor that season, was like, okay, just tell the story. Stop making them leave, stop doing all the things, and just do the dinner party. And changing that, I was able to find who these people were and figuring out ways to keep them in that room as long as possible. And then last summer at Ojai, my dramaturg was like, okay, so where's the magic? And so then something magical happens. And that was a huge discovery.
Very magical. Now, my own question that just pops up, I don't think I clarified. This is in the not too distant past. This is 12 years ago now that this is taking place?
Yeah, it's 2009.
Right.
Yeah, it was when it actually happened, and then that's where I said it. Yeah.
Right. Perfect. Well, another question from Orlando Shakes. How did you find the comedy and joy within the script?
I think a lot of the joy comes from Regina and Corey, the couple that are coming, who are really newly relocated. There's a lot of love between them, and they're happy wherever they are,
Right.
which is something that really gets hit home in the play, that they don't judge themselves, despite how other people might judge them. And they just have a lot of joy between them. And I think a lot of the comedy, more comedic moments come from those times when when the characters are more relaxed and there's not quite so much friction between them. There's a lovely little moment in the kitchen where the two women sing a little song because they've finally relaxed and they decided to just be with each other in that moment. But yeah, a lot of it's Corey and Regina. They're pretty cool.
Mhm. They're very cool. They're very cool. I'm very excited for every one of our patrons to see this. But yeah, I think that's the time we have for all of questions. But thank you so much, Inda, for taking time out of your busy day to come and join us for this Meet the Playwright.
Oh, sure. Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, it's been a pleasure. And we're going to send you back off to rehearsal now. So thank you so much, Inda. That's all the time we have for questions. Don't forget to purchase your tickets for Welcome to Madsen this Saturday, October 24th at 7:30 p.m. Tickets starting at $10 can be purchased at the Orlando Shakes website, orlandoshakes.org. And you can join us next week for the 5th installment of Meet the Playwrights right here on the Orlando Shakes Facebook page with Vincent Delaney's play The Wheel Woman. I'm Nick Bublitz, and I will see you next week. Thank you so much.